I'm not that great, but I'm... Oh, there it goes. The tip of the tongue. Look at that tear. Oh my gosh.
This is G-Fest 2019. We got Daikaiju Legends here. Jake Denunzio. I butchered that name probably.
Denunzio, that's close.
Denunzio. Is that what origin is that?
Italian.
Italian?
Yeah. That's better than most people do on their first pronunciation.
Yeah, we've known each other for a while, but like this is the first time we can really just sit down and just have a talk while eating and dying from wings. So glad to have you here. I started watching your channel with Kong's Awakening.
Oh, with the class.
Tell me how that all started.
I had actually tried my hand at YouTube like a couple times before Daikaiju Legends became a thing. I was doing like machinimas and various games and stuff. And eventually I managed to fall back into the Godzilla. And I found like the OG XXVI and Godzilla Ultraman programs. I'm like, man, I can make movies with like these toys that I have sitting in this box in my closet. So like, I don't know, that just kicked me to get inspired and start getting back into proper editing and really brought me into more visual effects.
So we got the OG original Godzilla YouTubers. When would you say you had your first video in general?
Sometime late 2010, early 2011, I would say. But the first like major thing I did was about 6 or 7 years ago at my second G-Fest. This is my 8th now.
When was your first G-Fest, like really? Like
2011. And so I had come here and I saw the video contest and I saw what the people that I was watching on YouTube were doing at the convention here live, like premiering stuff. I'm like, well, I can like get like instant crowd reactions and feedback like right away. So I'm like, all right, next year I'm just gonna put something out there, and I did. It was absolutely terrible looking back, but that kind of jump-started my like crave for every G-Fest. I gotta show something new.
yeah, I mean for me personally, like Godzilla, I'm really late. Like I shouldn't even be here. Like I got into Godzilla in 2000, like really in 2012, and in the worst way possible. Godzilla Unleashed soundtrack on YouTube. I remember I saw GMK on the TV really young, and like I cried like a baby for that when Mothra died. Other than that, I think 2014, closer to that, really pulled me into this. So from that 2013 YouTube, so I'd say we started near the same time. So let's just get started. We got here Louisiana Supreme hot sauce. Get a good zoom in of that. All right. Me being the interviewer, I'm gonna die before you.
That's pretty good actually.
So when you started coming to G-Fest, what did you feel when you started seeing like people actually come up to you? When would you say you had your first fan in real life?
I would say that it was probably the 4th year that I came, which I think was the first episode of Zone Fighter that I ever showed, which is like the mainstay on my channel really. And I showed that during the first filmmaking panel that I did back when I was 15, had no reason to be doing that kind of thing. That was kind of when people started coming up to me and be like, oh, you made the Zone Fighter thing. I saw it. Yeah, it's super humbling. Like even now, I'm like still shocked when people come up to me.
And I really see how you've really expanded your filmmaking ability to include so many live action actors, and that's what I really appreciate from Jake over here, is that he's special for using live action, but especially the effects. That's where all of it really comes from, live action people. I'm stuck with G.I. Joe figures still, but where would you say Taylor came in all this? When did he get in all this?
So I actually met him at a G-Fest. We went to high school together in middle school. And I had talked with him on brief occasion before, but we never really clicked. And one G-Fest, I'm walking around the dealer's room and he just shouts, "Hey, Denunzio!" I turn around because I'm like, who knows my last name? And it's this kid that I go to school with. and we're both just kind of like, what the hell are you doing here? And it still took us a while to really connect, because we were kind of like in like a weird awkward state. We're like, okay, we know we both are into Godzilla, but do we actually hang
You both got in high school together, or was it?
Yeah, so around
year?
our junior, senior year was when we actually started collaborating on stuff, and now he's become a pretty dedicated cinematographer for the channel.
What do you see, like, you just said, like, your whole crew, if you, like, filmmaking is what you want to do, your passion, right, in the future, are you going to extend beyond kaijus and go into the film art?
Yeah, like, I'm in college for film production right now, and I basically, after my freshman year, kind of settled into visual effects and editing, basically post-production being my place to be. I feel like doing Zone Fighter is kind of like my own playground that I can test whatever I want and teach myself all sorts of techniques.
You got these little projects, like, I remember seeing that one Shin Godzilla short you did. What was it called?
Oh, 17 Hours of Terror, yeah.
17 Hours of Terror.
So that movie was interesting because I wrote it in about a week's time. Like, for some reason, I got this instant spark of like, I'm leaving high school. The girl that I had acted in that film, Melissa, who also does Zone Fighter now, I was like, I want to do something with her because she and I had done theater together, so we both kind of knew that she was a really good actress. So out of nowhere, I just wrote this script. In hindsight, it's not that great of a script. It was sort of my first big step forward into trying to make something serious and like not necessarily all action. But what it mainly did serve as was a big visual effects exercise, because that was the first time that I ever tried blending like stop motion elements into a live action environment. That was a big exercise for me.
We got here this buddy right here, Texas Pete. He doesn't look too happy with us. Are you more to get down to the bone or just a little bite? I'm more of a little bite.
I'm going little by little,
Yeah.
just so I'm not totally overwhelmed.
How would you say the YouTube algorithm as a whole, you see it like with big YouTubers such as PewDiePie fighting against it, dodging it. How would you say with the kind of stuff you do, in terms of music, copyright, how have you gone about that on your whole YouTube career?
I feel like I've gotten lucky somehow, because I've never gotten a copyright strike at all. Yeah, the algorithm is interesting, because especially with the kaiju community, I've noticed Ultraman stuff, not that it bothers me, like doesn't get as much attention search-wise. I've had like flukes, like the first episode of season 2 of Zone Fighter. For some reason, Indonesia and Malaysia love the shit out of it. And it just got like hundreds of thousands of views in the span of a month or two after it was posted.
Yeah, like a lot of times I see it's not a really rewarding system, like with how much work you put into it. It's funny, like you've got like sometimes even work that I don't like gets the most views when the stuff I do put work into doesn't, and I think that goes for everyone.
Yeah.
See it with D-Man, just like when you define yourself as a certain creator, those are the types of videos you're stuck with really, and I feel like if you move away from that, you won't get as much attention, which is a really sucky side of YouTube at times, but we just gotta learn how to go around it. So yeah, we're gonna move on to our next one. It's got habanero pepper and mango. So sometimes you get the bone first, you gotta go around and get the meat.
It's actually really good taste. I like that.
Yeah, I think it's the best. Let's talk about Godzilla King of the Monsters, like in general. It's a film a lot of people, critics hate it, but fans love it. How would you say you feel about the movie? In an honest way.
As a Godzilla fan, I had a really fun time with it. I had a blast. But like the filmmaker inside of me, I don't think it's that good of an actual movie.
I'd say I fully agree. As a fan, I love it. I'd put it up there in the top 10. But when I was watching the movie, it's funny because like you're a fan, but yet something's tearing your brain inside of you.
That's how I felt.
This factually is not great writing. This isn't great, and the execution of it. So I feel like with us, since we're more the film kind of Godzilla YouTubers, that's how we have to feel, sadly. We can't really detach ourselves from that because we've seen more films beyond that. And the common fan doesn't, but I'd say really it comes down to really two opinions for Godzilla fans.
I definitely wish people would have like let up on the critics when that came out. Like people were going
I agree.
nuts.
It was a hell
Like, because people have to keep in mind, like, people are like, oh, these like critics, but like you have to keep in mind their job is to watch all the movies that come out and review all of it. So they've seen all the tropes, all the cliches, they've seen the best and the worst. And so when they're giving their honest opinion, like that's their job.
I think I'd say as a Godzilla fan, I'd give the movie a 9 out of 10 from a filmmaker's perspective. They aren't that far off. I'd say in the 5 or 6 range.
I was gonna say, my thought was like, after I got out of the theater, I'm like, I kind of agree with the critic consensus score on Rotten Tomatoes, as much as I love it.
How would you say the fan base is in general in terms of opinions and just outside forces coming in on the fan base?
People tend to be a lot of really closed-minded, I think, which is unfortunate, but I mean, especially when it comes to, I've noticed like other areas of tokusatsu, like kind of as someone that does a lot of Ultraman focused stuff, a lot of Godzilla fans just kind of dismiss it and they stay closed-minded, like Godzilla's all in here, this is it. This is the only thing. But yeah, and like with opinions, if someone tries to, you know, like I'm a really big fan of Godzilla's Revenge, but that's like people do not really like that.
This is a weird opinion. My least favorite Godzilla movies are the Heisei movies, excluding 89 and 84. So that's the fan base. What would you say is like the future of the Monsterverse, considering people don't like to admit it, but the movie didn't do that well? Endgame like flattened every single movie's potential success. You get some weird ones in there like Aladdin that do well. Do you look at box office numbers?
I do occasionally. Like, you know, people tend to obviously look at like the fact that there are movies coming out around Godzilla at all. Obviously stuff like Aladdin and Godzilla aren't going to hit the same demographic, but I think like 2014 got scrunched between big releases as well. Like, what was it, X-Men and something else? I know.
I think it was Future Past, was it?
Yeah,
it was
and
Dark
some other
Phoenix.
movie like a couple weeks before, I think.
And considering the critics' box office, I'd say King Kong versus Godzilla's in a really tough spot. How would you say they should handle it? And if they do, explain if Kong is a success with Godzilla, what would be after?
Right now, like, I'm totally pessimistic and like it's just gonna die after Kong, because I'm not expecting Kong to do well at all, honestly. Like, the director that's involved. Which people have already, you know, poured their feelings out about. Like, you know, after King of the Monsters with the critic scores, and even like a lot of general audience people that I've listened to and talked to, just kind of like, I didn't really like it. You know, as much as people who used to be like, oh, go, like, we need to get this movie to like $1 billion box office. Like, that's not gonna happen. Like, if people don't like it, they're not gonna like the movie and they're not gonna go see it again. I mean, like, if it continues, I'd be open for anything, because I want to see what they can come up with in such a new medium for Godzilla, really.
Okay, we mixed 2 hot. Fire! Oh my
I
god.
told you. It's this one. This one is kind of bad. I like from my perspective, it's the only one that actually is kind of bad. It's ready to go behind the game. People have not seen Pod. Honestly,
Oh my god. You're taking your water.
That makes it worse, you know.
Alright, let's move
You're not my boss.
This is hilarious. So we're gonna do our Gram section where we go through Jake's Instagram. We found here a picture of him meeting Tommy Wiseau. Tell me the whole experience. We love the room. It's something I feel like everyone in internet culture is familiar with. How did that go?
So, the weekend that I was moving to my freshman year of college at my dorm, about nearly 2 years ago at this point, we have this historic little movie theater that's kind of close to downtown, like 30 minutes away from us, called Tivoli.
And we were just happening to scan through what they show, because they do like midnight showings and stuff. We happened to look, and there's the room with Tommy Wiseau, like in person. And Taylor and I were there, we both kind of looked at each other like, we got to go to that, like, because he wasn't as big of a fan of The Room as I am. I'm kind of obsessed with it. But
How many times have you seen it? I think I've
it's-
seen one time, but then I just keep going back to the clips on YouTube.
I was gonna say I think I've seen it once or twice in full on my own, but then now I've seen it twice with Tommy Wiseau, and it's
How was he in person?
he looks like a melting wax figure kind of, like in person. He wears two belts, one around his waist, one below his butt, because he says, quote, "It's to keep my awesome." And then he does Q&A before the movie, but every question is, you know, like, "Oh, Tommy, how are you enjoying St. Louis?" Move on, next question.
Alright, Jake, we've chugged down so many wings. We've gone down to the last one. These hot sauces haven't been bad. We're gonna try this one, the Killer Iguana Radioactive, so fitting for G-Fest, am I right? Not feeling it yet.
That starts out pretty good.
Yeah.
Here it comes. Neat. I love that.
I've dropped down 2 cups of water. I probably drank one when I wasn't looking.
I haven't touched it. I haven't touched it. I'm totally honest. You can watch back
True
that
hero
footage.
True hero here. He hasn't drank anything.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh.
I'm not gonna do it.
I'm not doing it either. I'm not doing it either. Even though I'm drinking like 2 cups.
Good though. I'll let there be like quick.
Comes in waves from time to time.
That's what it feels like, man.
Oof.
Yeah, it just stays there for a while.
How are you
I think
doing?
I'm
How are
good
you
though.
doing? I'm kind of suffering over here.
I think I'm not that great, but I'm. Oh, here it goes.
The tip of the tongue.
It's like rising back up in my throat, dude.
I'm doing worse than him, of course. I think it's a tip. The tongue.
I think it's subsiding.
Yeah.
Last time I said that, it came back though. But I think
I think this is for good.
I just gotta keep talking. That's what helps me.
All right, Drake. We've slammed down all these wings. You've been a good sport through all of this. Of course, he's the true winner here because I took down 2 cups of water. He didn't touch a single one. Show this on camera. I'm really crying right now. Look at this. Get a shot of me.
Look at that. Look at that tear. Oh my gosh. Like
Unless my eyes are super red,
He is clearly a better hot sauce person than me, an actual Hispanic.
I thought I was gonna die, man. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
No camera there, but a camera there. What would you like to tell your audience? Tell anyone what's going on.
Well, I mean, I assume by the time you see this G-Fest is over, we're showing Zone Fighter. Ooh, exciting. But if you want to see more Zone Fighter action and other miscellaneous kaiju visual effects and stories and movies and stuff, YouTube, Daikaiju Legends is my channel. If that's too hard to spell, just probably look up Zone Fighter and it's usually like the first couple results. But yeah, and then Twitter, it's the same thing, follow me there. If you find my Instagram with my personal name, Jake D'Annunzio, good on you. What am I doing? I can't touch it. I keep going until
Alright. Alright, so that's it. That was good. Great. Alright, let's get a shot of us like just behind the wings like we do the ending.
Oh yeah, you guys gotta like put your arms around your shoulder.
Zoom in to ease the pain.